Today we are at Golf Swing Systems, and this is Alex. Alex is going to talk us through the different types of launch monitors that are available and what you can get from them. A lot of people have looked at Easier Swing and they watch it and it looks so easy, they think, well, it hasn't got any power in it. We're hoping to disprove that today, and Alex is going to talk us through some different types of launch monitors and what they can do for you.
Yeah, so you've got so many different options now that when we're going to talk through these, it's going to show on different launch monitors the kind of things you're talking about with Easier Swing, and it kind of gets rid of any myths. All of this data is measured by the launch monitor. It's going to show it up on the screen. So if you say something's happening and it shows it on the screen,
that's what's happening.
No one can argue.
Right, well, let's get straight to it.
So, Phil, the first thing I'm going to show you is the best option, in my opinion, for under £1,000. And at the moment, for me, that's the Rapsodo MLM 2. So it is a radar and capture device. So it's using a couple of different ways to record your swing, radars and camera. And it gives some very, very accurate data indoors because of this. So this is what's called an RPT ball. So it's a Callaway Super Soft.
Yeah.
It's a normal Callaway Super Soft with a funky pattern on it. And it doesn't just look cool. It also helps the radar to track everything indoors very accurately. And when we've done testing, it's comparable to GC3, which is about 15 times the price.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's GC3
value.
is about £8,500. This is 650.
Wow.
And has very, very similar data when you're using these balls indoors.
I see.
So should we get you hitting some shots? And
yeah, let's
walk
do that.
you through some of the key bits of data. Good swing. So a slight draw there. And what you can see with the Rapsodo is it's quite a quick response time, and you get quite a lot of data with it.
Right.
So there's three key ones that I wanted to walk you through. So the first thing to be really sort of looking at is your carry and total number.
Yeah.
You'll know yourself, it's probably the most important thing that you're working on at any one point with a student is making sure they know where the ball's going to land.
Yeah.
And this number is within 1% of GC3 because of those RPT balls.
Wow.
So it's within about, if you're hitting a 150-yard shot, you're within about 1.5 yards each way, which is really important. Obviously, if you know where the ball's landing, it's a good starting point.
Yeah.
And then also spin axis down the bottom right-hand corner there. So spin axis is basically if you had a ball spinning directly back at you, it's a 0-degree spin axis.
Right.
You start to tilt it off center.
Yeah.
That is then draw and fade spin in whichever way you go.
So draw is minus, is it?
Draw. So spinning left is a draw,
Yeah.
And anything negative on a launch monitor is left of center. Positive is a fade. So with this 6.9, you hit the draw there, and so that number is usually very difficult for radars to work out.
Right. Okay.
But with the pattern on the ball, we found that again you're within 1% of GC3, and that is how they work out the shot shape.
So a 99% accuracy for 650 quid.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
That's pretty impressive.
And the thing with it as well is the spin axis. If that goes wrong, you could have all the rest of the numbers correct. You could know where it's going to land, but you don't know how it's getting there. You don't know if it's drawing or fading. Often on some sort of cheaper launch monitors, you'll see it will just go straight to where it would have landed. Yeah. Which is great to know where it landed, but if you've got trees on the right-hand side, you can't be hitting a draw.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the last one to talk about, sort of in terms of importance, is the spin rate. So you know yourself, you could swing a driver as fast as you want. Yeah, you guys, I've read a little bit about the Easier Swing. You're going to unlock a little bit of extra speed with it. And you could be swinging as fast as you want, but if you're spinning it at 4,000 revs, that ball's going nowhere.
Nowhere, absolutely.
So, the spin rates being accurate are super important on launch monitors. So 5,000, what are you hitting there? You're hitting about 7.9? 6.9, yeah, it's pretty good. So it's right around the right number. Yeah. And but it's a great way to look into, if you were coaching, if you saw someone spinning their 6.9 at 8,000 revs, something's not right with their fitting
not going
or their
right.
swing.
Yeah. And again, as you say, that spin axis is too far off zero.
Yeah, it's not terrible. I mean, you're not used to hitting on simulators so much, and we'll very frequently see people go left when they're first hitting on a simulator, because you tend to drag towards the center of the screen. So I'm pretty confident as we go on today and you hit more shots, that will start to become a bit more of a push draw like you want it to be.
Interesting, yeah. I could actually feel it in my shot as I came through, that it was, I suppose, I'm not used to hitting indoors, I'm not used to hitting into a thing like this. I'm sort of used to a target being literally a long way away from me and figuring out that alignment to that.
You'll probably lose about between 5 and 10% of your distance to start with today.
Really?
And that's entirely a commitment thing.
Oh, wow.
Because, we get it especially with clients who have purchased a simulator.
Yeah.
You're hitting a golf ball as hard as you can. It's something that costs thousands of pounds. So it's like a commitment thing. They sort of immediately take off a little bit. They just yeah. So you'll probably notice you'll lose 5 to 10 yards on everything. Okay. And that's very normal. So don't worry. It's not the launch monitor. It's not you. It's just getting used to it.
Okay. Well, that's been really interesting, Alex. I love what's available here for under £1,000. I'm really blown away by just how good that is relative to the cost.
Well, before you go, I've got a little bit more I can show you with this. Well, this is only the surface. Okay. So I'll do a little bit of tinkering. I'll show you another trick, okay?
Yeah, go on. Cool.
This is going to blow your mind. So this section of the program is called Rapsodo Practice, and you can see there's even more of me on the screen, which is it's never a good thing. But as a coach, it's so useful. So if you're practicing a takeaway, for example, you have immediate feedback on how you're doing it. And then if I get you to hit a shot, if you whack one away, so you're going to get this screen, which shows you all your data, very similar to the other range, very similar numbers. But then within 5 seconds, you're going to get immediate swing replay.
Oh, right.
So that's your swing in real time. We can slow that down if we want. And then you can go in, and there's another bit called impact vision. So you can see how you delivered the club in super, super slow motion. Ooh, so you've got hundreds of frames per second. Yeah. So you can see, it gives you the ability to see things like, if you've hit it off the toe, you can see how gear effect works, or you can see, I'm coming over the top or underneath the ball, whatever you want to do. Yeah. This is a great tool for that. And you can see, you don't just get to see your data as well, you can see some sort of smaller tracer data. It's not quite as much as on the other range, but you do get to be able to see like what the shot shape looked like. It's a very similar one to the one earlier on. Yeah. Very similar numbers, but with the camera. So this is basically where I would tell people to do the majority of their practice, because they're going to get so much feedback on what they're doing. Yeah.
And that's really interesting, because with Easier Swing, basically what we're looking to try and do is to simplify things. That's the whole core of it. It's not breaking it down into individual positions. Read a wonderful quote from one of the old golfers the other day, and it was, "There are no positions in motion."
Okay.
And I think that's a lovely quote. You know, you're thinking about the motion itself rather than breaking it down into individual bits.
That sounds like it would suit my swing, because if you start breaking it into positions, mine looks all sorts of ways.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think, unfortunately, this is where the golf industry has gone for quite a few years, is thinking that if you put the club in certain positions, it will make golf get better. Actually, all it does, it just destroys the motion. So, but being able to get that instant feedback, you can then think to yourself, okay, how do I actually make a motion that changes that? You know, so rather than actually thinking about even how you do it, it's just a question of knowing exactly what's happened and maybe being able to correct it.
So it's about building your swing rather than building a swing.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Perfect. Okay, so the next thing to show you, and the last thing for this launch monitor, is the courses. So there's a number of ways you can do this. We've shown it before on videos with a program called Awesome Golf, which is a full screen program. But we wanted to show Rapsodo's own version of course software. Oh, right. So in the Rapsodo app, and included with your membership, you get access to literally thousands of golf courses that you can play. So if you want to just hit a tee shot, you can see this is actually, although it's not the most graphically intense thing in the world, and it's shown in a mobile section, because this is technically a mobile launch monitor. It works with iPhone and iPad currently. If you hit a shot, you'll see it works as a course simulator, and it means you can have that variety of shots that you need to hit. And that's the main thing we say courses is worthwhile doing, is actually just forcing you to play golf rather than just practicing. Go ahead and whack a shot. Bam. No pull draws there. That's just a bomb up the middle. What you can see is this works perfectly well as a course simulator. It's a great starting point for people who have got this budget launch monitor to actually start a budget simulator as well. Because you can feasibly do this with just your iPad. You could run it like we're running this off an iPad here. You could just use it on an iPad with a net and be able to play real golf and actually practice all the shots in your bag.
Wow. That is brilliant, isn't it? I mean, I'm just blown away by how it's probably 25 years since I saw the first launch monitor years ago, which Steve...
I was about to say, ironically, it was probably my boss, Steve, who showed it to you.
It was. And you know, I remember being so impressed by the technology then, but to see how far it's moved
Come
on.
a long way.
And I think in recent times, because for a long time it was really only if you spent that kind of £8,000-10,000 that you got something worthwhall. But to be able to do this for
and I mean, this is the very entry level version of it as well. So we've got a lot more we're going to show you here today as well. So should we move on to a SkyTrak Plus?
Yeah, indeed. Perfect. Let's do that.
Let's do that.
This is the next system up, and we're talking about how much with this system.
So this is the SkyTrak Plus. It's kind of the next step up, what we would call an entry-level golf simulator. The ones below generally we'll call launch monitors because they're a bit more portable. This is where you could start building a full simulator.
Right.
And so this is about just over £3,000, and at the moment just under because it's got a Black Friday deal on.
Oh, okay.
Good timing. But and actually it goes through to winter as well. It came out this year, and it's a replacement for SkyTrak, which is the original. You've probably heard of it. Everybody's heard of it.
Yeah.
That came out 8-9 years ago now, and was a ball-only camera system. Now, what they did with this one was take that system. They didn't throw it away. They literally took it and bolted a Doppler radar onto it. So they took the core technology and upgraded it a little bit rather than starting from scratch again. So you know you've still got that sort of 8 years of development on the original, and then you've got a bit more functionality with this. So the difference between this and a Rapsodo is you'll notice this sits right next to where you're hitting, and it also gives you club data. So the Rapsodo gives you very, very good ball data, but no club data currently apart from club speed. This will give you club path, face to path, and face to target.
Right. Okay.
Which is where you start getting involved with coaching and So
and again, obviously, if you've got limited space in an indoor facility, you know, with the Rapsodo, you had to have that kind of 15 feet of space.
Yeah. So generally speaking, with radars, radars is about 15 feet and up. This you could probably get away with 4 meters, so 12 feet or whatever you can safely swing in.
Yeah, brilliant.
And so we'll get you hitting some shots, and you'll get to have a feel of it. And then we're also going to show you some course software on this one as well, some third-party course software. So let's have a look at some shots here. So we've set this to, you still hit the 6-iron?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so we've got this to set to a 6-iron, and so you're going to see you've got club path, face to path, all that kind of stuff, and the shot shape will be very, very accurate.
Okay.
Swing. Probably quite a similar shot shape. Yeah, draws neutraling out now.
Yeah. Bit nearer to the target.
Yeah. And also, you'll notice though, we hit 3 6-irons with the Rapsodo.
Yeah.
167 was all 3.
Yeah.
This was 168.
Yeah.
So you can see all of the things we sell are generally pretty accurate. They're pretty close to each other. We get a lot of people saying which one's the most accurate of the ones you sell. Yeah. And generally speaking, we can say the most expensive is the most accurate, but these ones are accurate as well.
Yeah.
A club golf
more accurate than my swing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. A club golf is not going to notice the difference between a yard. Yeah, if you're John Rahm, maybe you're going to notice that that's carrying 168 instead of 167.
Yeah,
that's a yard off.
Yeah,
for a club golfer, I don't know. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I know my 6-iron goes roughly whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you must know the famous line of when Faldo and Langer were playing together.
I don't. Go ahead.
And Faldo said, "What's the distance to the pin?" And the caddy said, "Oh, it's measured to the sprinkler head, just to the side there." And Langer turned around to him and said, "What, the front of the sprinkler head or the back of it?"
See, that's where you get to levels that I'm never going to get to.
Exactly.
I mean, it's different levels. But the data here. So let's wander through the data a little bit. So you've got all of your ball data, the same as a Rapsodo. The only one you won't see here is spin axis, because that's generally shown on some of the more expensive ones, but also the radars. They're kind of showing you that they're measuring it. Cameras, they get that number by taking photos of golf ball.
Okay.
So you're going to see a very accurate shot shape, and you've got launch angle, backspin, and descent angle have all got parameters. So these green, red, green. What this is saying is for a 6-iron, your launch angle and your descent angle are pretty much ideal. Yeah. But you're actually spinning it a little low. So you're a 5.3.
Wow. Optimal
range for a 6-iron is 6.1 to 6.9.
That's interesting.
And that's a number that a fitter would use, for example. A fitter would say, I want him to be spinning it within
spin
there.
Up a little bit.
But equally, they might well say, okay, you're swinging it at 86 miles an hour. If you were swinging at 75, for example, they might want that spin number to be lower so that it's going to roll out for longer. Yeah. And then on the bottom side, you've got, again, standard numbers: ball speed, club speed, side angle, side spin. They're all very self-explanatory. Then you get to your club data. So you've got club path, face to path, and face to target. And this is effectively what you're doing to make that shot happen.
Yeah.
So you've delivered the club pretty much dead neutral, 0.1 of a degree. I'm disappointed it's not 0.0, but
failed again.
Yeah, but not too bad. 0.1 of a degree inside, so you're even hitting 0.1 of a degree of a draw. Face the path, 0.8 of a degree left, so you sort of slightly close to
why the ball went just a little bit left.
Yeah, and then face to target. That's basically where the face was in comparison to the straight line.
Yeah.
So you're 0.7 of a degree off. Not bad.
Not too bad.
And then in the bottom right, you've got one called Shot Score. This is one that's unique to SkyTrak.
Okay.
And effectively what it's doing is saying it's the lower the number, the better. So if you hit a bunch of shanks and a bunch of wayward shots, that number might come out at 180.
All right, okay.
Whatever. But the lower the better. It's basically it's showing you what you'd expect to score.
Oh, I see.
But it's not. I've seen it go as low as 53 before. It's not. So it's kind of like a hypothetical number.
Okay.
You want that to be as good as you can.
And so that's calculating over a period of time.
Yeah, over a period of
like
accuracy, shot shaping, consistency of ball flight, things like that.
Wow.
It all adds up to make a better shot score.
That's nice. I kind of get that. I've never seen that before on a launch.
No, it's unique, and it's one of those things. They brought it in, and we all went, "What's that?" But yeah, it's quite self-explanatory once you get it.
Yeah,
it's a measure of how well you're hitting the golf ball.
Okay.
Yeah. So 74.
Yeah.
Good. You've only hit one shot, but it's good.
Can I hit a driver into?
Yeah, absolutely. Hit a few different shots. Oh, I know why your spin numbers were out. I had it set on 7-iron. So for 6-iron, you're probably fine. Okay, so just to explain, the red dot on the bottom of on the floor, that's basically being set by the SkyTrak, and it's the focus point of the cameras.
I see.
So it's a good way of the Rapsodo, obviously, it's sat behind you. It's quite difficult to tell where you're hitting from. One of the advantages of the camera is it can tell you where you need to hit from. So that little red dot, pop the tee on there, hit it from there, and it will measure everything perfectly.
Okay.
Great drive. Peeler draw up the left-hand side. Yep. Okay, so it's touch spinny. Touch spinny, launched to touch low. Was it a little bit bottom of the face slightly?
Yeah, just a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what you tend to see is a little low launch that then kind of climbs.
Yeah, 9 degrees a bit low.
Yeah, and then descent angle, it's obviously coming a little bit flat as well. So it's, but I mean, it's a great drive. You'd take it all day on the course, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And so you can see again, club path, 1 degree inside, nice and consistent. Face to path, slightly left. So you can just say today, at the moment, you're closing the club face a little bit. But on a course, you'd be able to adjust that and just aim slightly right.
And Alex explained to me earlier on that when people start on launch monitors, if you're not used to them, and I'm not, I've really never used these much at all. Everybody tends to do a little bit kind of going left and a bit low to start with.
Yeah. So
it's a bit
just
of
like
bit of anxiety.
Yeah, it's dragging towards the screen.
Yeah.
And I also said as well, probably going to be a bit short.
Yeah.
You're going to feel like you're not hitting very
not
far.
Quite letting go.
Yeah, it's just not letting go. And because you're hitting at something that costs lots of money, it's subconsciously, it takes a little while. We, all the guys here who, obviously we don't do any work, we all hit on golf simulators all day. We whack it into there. And I've had a wild long drive going here before.
Oh, really?
He was up to, in this room, I've had it up to 216 with him. And then we've had more in our centres. And we do know the upper limit of our screen as well, put it that way.
Really?
And it's not a number we're ever going to get close to, or 99.9% are ever going to get close to. But 217, that's a dangerous shot. That's going through a screen.
And we're talking 217 ball speed?
Ball speed and repeated shots into that spot as well.
Okay.
So
yeah. So it's
he was a bit of a stud. That guy was smacking the golf ball. So one of the things you'll notice with the SkyTrak app is it's all quite sort of self-contained, which is really nice. And one of the things you get with your license fee is, which is about 130 quid a year as well, is skills assessments and challenges and game improvement software.
Okay.
So this one's pretty cool. We're going to put you to the test. We've got 3 shots that you're going to hit. It's a pretty short wedge at 82 yards, probably a pitching wedge at 128. And then probably a full 7 or a soft 6 at 180. I just picked random numbers. You can just select your own distances. And what we're going to get you to do is hit to these shots, and it's going to assess how well you've hit the shots and give you a dynamic handicap. Brilliant. So we can find out roughly what kind of simulator golf handicap. I know you're a pro, so technically there's no handicap involved. But if you come out at an 8 handicap, we're gonna raise some eyebrows. But you've got 82 yards for your first one, so you've got to hit a little sort of, I don't know, it's probably like a lob wedge or.
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
I've got my pitching wedge. I would change to my gap wedge to
change
do that.
away.
And 82 yards. I love this because 82 yards. When I've got 82 yards, I start panicking. That's not a great distance for me.
Okay.
And so
Sorry.
yeah, it'd be interesting to see how accurate I can get to that.
Move out the way of your camera angle. We're a little left.
Little left, yeah.
Gonna be on though. So you get 3 goes at it as well.
Oh right, okay. So how far did I hit?
3 goes at each one. So you were pretty much bang on in terms of distance, a bit short and a bit
little
left.
bit short, yeah. I mean, that's my tendency is to hit it long, so I was kind of deliberately just holding
You got
back.
Fogel, fear of going long.
Yep.
There you go. Pretty bang on there.
75. So I can give it just a little bit more. I've hit that too long, I think.
It's probably going to spin a lot though. Yeah, nice
Not too
spin.
bad.
Nice shot. You
89.
got progressively better there. Okay, so your next one's 128.
I mean, for me, because that is probably my weakest shot, literally 80, 85 yards is probably one of my weakest shots. You know, an afternoon spent doing this
Really useful.
could really kind of focus.
And you can build this skills assessment however you want to build it as well. You can select and drag and drop. Like you can run this on an iPad or on the PC and just drag and drop what the distances you want them to be. So if you wanted to work on just your wedges, you can start at 50 and have 10 stations that go out to maybe 100 yards. You can literally just work on your wedge handicap, for example.
Brilliant. I love that kind of instant feedback.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
It's good, isn't it? 128, okay.
Nice swing. Fady. Get up there. Oh, he's got a missed green. Oh, I think you'd be okay with it. You'd be putting, wouldn't you?
I'll be putting, yeah.
Just a touch short. Like we said, we're probably about 10 yards short on the day.
Switched up to 9-iron
because
128 for a wedge for me is kind of pushing it out there.
Yeah.
And one thing I would recommend to everybody is on your short irons, don't try and force a few extra yards. Just drop down to one less club, take it a little easier. So this for me is an easy 9-iron, which I normally hit 135. So
Nice swing.
that felt nice.
That was nice.
I'd be surprised if that's not pretty close.
There you go.
Yeah.
We're into plus handicaps there.
That's better.
There you go. Now I've really eked it out and you've got 180 now.
Right, okay.
And you can see as it's landing, it's not really rolling out at all, so you probably need to carry it almost all of this.
All the way, yeah. Yeah, that's probably a 5-iron.
Great strike. That's a golf shot.
I think we'll take that one.
That is a golf shot right there. Yeah, +4. That's not bad, is it? So I'll let you in on a secret while he's lining the last 2 up. I said an 8 handicap in the intro because generally speaking, when you get pros in here, the first time doing this assessment, they'll come out about an 8 handicap because the first few they sort of need to feel their way out and they get progressively better. So I'm intrigued to see after a couple more button 5-irons if he can drop it below 8. That'll be pretty impressive on his first time. That's another really nice golf swing. Come back.
That's going to miss
That's
left,
come
isn't
up big as well, isn't it?
Ooh. Yeah, slightly pulled, a little bit shut face.
Ball speed on that.
You got me all excited, I think. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a shot. Settle. Set. Yeah, sure. Lovely. Let's see
I'll
what
take
you
the
come
first
out
one.
at.
I'll
Yeah,
take the first one.
I had to say the +4, 9.2. I was pretty close. So you can see as you get progressively more used to it, your handicap comes down and down and down. So if I left you on that for 10 minutes, I think we'd be back down into plus territory. So yeah, it's a great way for especially newer golfers and sort of club golfers and amateur golfers. Yeah. You can get very sucked into the idea of just hitting thousands of shots on a range. And that gives you something to actually work on and actually to hit shots at. Like for one of my faults is I tend to get very absorbed in practice and hitting like 100 7-irons. And by the end of that, it's probably worse than when it started.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so
I think a lot of good golfers get there, because they practice a lot. And if you end up hitting too many shots and you can just end up doing too many different things and you're finding too many different feels and you kind of walk away thinking, what was it I was doing there? What did I achieve? And I made a promise to myself, gosh, how many years ago? Probably 25 years ago. Because I reckoned I was a bad practicer, because that was the way I would leave the practice ground almost every time, was kind of scratching my head, a bit frustrated.
Questioning what the point was,
what was the point of that? And rushing this practice session as well, hitting too many shots. And I made myself a promise to always walk away with a smile on my face, feeling good, feeling like I'd made progress, and reduce the number of shots I hit.
Yep.
And I think that as a discipline for all golfers, regardless of standard, is a good idea. Is don't hit too many shots when you practice, don't rush them, and try and make sure that when you walk away, you've got something positive you've taken from that practice session. Now, sometimes that even involved, if I wasn't hitting the ball very well on a day with every other club in the bag, I might just hit the last 20 shots with a wedge. Yeah. And walk away having hit 20 nice wedges. Yeah. I've still got a smile on my face. I've still achieved something. Yeah. And I think that's really important.
I was about to say, how do we make sure we turn away with a smile on our face after hitting a bunch of shanks? I mean, I imagine there's 1 or 2 days you come away and you're like, oh, it was rubbish. But
yeah,
no,
we all have a bad day.
Absolutely.
And Brian's philosophy on that, it's still a nice day.
It's still it's still better than being in the office, isn't it? So, yeah. Right. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take you into the next level of course simulation as well. So we saw in Rapsodo, you saw sort of the mobile view. There are then sort of steps up on that where you can get third-party software. And this is now a step up into the third-party software where you get into a real golf simulator. So I promised the next step up in course simulation. And when we brought this up, both these guys went, wow. Yeah. And so we're on the famous par 3 at Pebble Beach. And this is a program called TGC 2019. Now, this is just one of the options you can go for. There's E6 and GS Pro. There's a number of really good sort of like course simulation softwares that you can pair with a SkyTrak Plus or a Mevo Plus or all these different launch monitors around about this price point. And they're all going to get the same level of graphics and the same level of data and things like that. Okay. So let's see if you can hit the green. It's quite a difficult green to hit, especially on a simulator, because you've got different yardages and downhill. So
just looking here, if the camera can come round, looking on the screen, I can only see the 1 bunker at the back, or maybe 2 bunkers at the back. I can see those 2 at the back. Can't see any of this from the tee. So
one of the dangers of the hole, isn't it?
Don't leave it short. Yeah. Don't leave it short.
Don't go too long either. You'll be on the beach.
No. So we've got 114 yards downhill. So where's the wind? Does it have any wind?
There's no wind at the moment. Okay. This is a very rare day at Pebble Beach, apparently.
Oh, right. Wow. Okay. Let's see what we can do.
Nice shot. Touch left, maybe.
Oh, fade back. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll take that.
No, not bad. You wouldn't have that one back, would you? You've got a 6 footer. You're 8 footer for birdie. Now, I'm not sure we've got the set on auto putt or putting. We might have to get you to putt this. Yeah, you're putting it. Oh, grab your putter. I'll get this set up for you. So, with the sort of development of golf simulator products, you can now play a full round of golf. So you can putt, you can chip, all sorts of things. So you've now got an 8 footer that's slightly downhill and slightly right to left. You can see these lines moving across the screen.
Oh, I see.
That's showing the gradient on the green.
Oh, right, okay.
So you want to aim ever so slightly off right from the straight line. And 8 feet. So for reference, the screen is 12 feet away. So it's quite a tiddly little putt there. Rolling at 10 on the stimp as well.
Oh, 10 on the stimp. Wow. Yeah. So that is pretty quick.
That's pretty good there, I think.
Oh, missed it left.
Just pulled it slightly. Look at the speed of that. Wow. Look at the speed of that.
Wow.
Now, we're not going to make him putt all of them, and I'll tell you why. because putting on simulators is so hard. I've had so many mental breakdowns about my putting because of being on simulators. And it's one bit of advice we can give all of your followers is whatever software you get, whether it's Trackman, Foresight, SkyTrak, anything beyond a pace putt. So if you're 30 feet away, absolutely putt it. Yeah. But if you're 6 feet away, for example, that putt, even though it's 6 feet, is tremendously difficult to make on a simulator. Because you can't see the grid, you can't see the read, you can't see it in real life. So we always do what's called auto putt generally. So we would normally have this set, so within a 6 feet radius, it will give you the putt. Right, okay. And, but from like 30 feet out, it's great for pace control. Pace control, yeah. Which especially is far more important. Because and then what you can do as well is you can match the course simulator to the speed of the green in your simulator. So everything we've got in this room and that simulator there, all roll at 10 on the stimp. Okay. And we match all of our simulators to that. To that, yes. Okay. So you'd be able to work on your pace very well. Yeah. But line and brakes, don't do it. Right. You'll just, I've tried, and it's just gonna make you sad. Okay, okay, yeah, that's good advice. So. And a good example is the Trackman indoor league they've got where you can win prize money and stuff. It's set on auto putt. Oh right, so that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, so that's a good indicator. Even the guys who are doing it full time. That's an indicator. So it's worthwhile just popping up an auto putt and having fun rather than trying to work on your putting. Thanks, Alex. Perfect. Okay, so what do we have here now? Then, yeah, so you've got the next step up now. So this is GC3. This is where we're sort of saying this is now a mid-range launch monitor, and mid-range is a bit of a loose term. It's a big expensive piece of kit. Yeah. So this is about £8,500. So it's another step up, about double of what SkyTrak was. And this is a fully integrated piece of golf software. So this runs off of the same software as the GC Quad. So it's called the GC3. The only difference is the Quad has 4 cameras. This has 3. And so the Quad's able to look at a bit more face data. This is more aimed at club data. But it all runs from the same software. So you have all of the same practice facilities. You have the same access to courses. So you get 25 courses included for free. You get all of your support, all of your games, all those kind of things, all included in one piece of software. There's no sort of loading up different programs. Like with the SkyTrak off camera, I had to close SkyTrak and open up a course simulator. One of the ways it's a little bit better is I can just navigate around navigate around the app and you're there immediately. So what you're going to see with this, it does ball and club data when you've got a dot on. So we're going to dot up your club for you. And so you're going to get a bit of club data. So you get club path, angle of attack, that kind of stuff. And then you get mega accurate ball data. Like you're talking, I've used these out on the course we were talking about Jack Harrison earlier on. He plays on the Tour of Asia. So he was hitting golf shots at me out on the golf course. He was hitting 7 irons. I was walking, stepping over, rangefindering to the GC3 itself. And you're talking within 0.1 of a yard. Wow. Like totally super accurate. Yeah. And that's outdoors and indoors. So one of the best things about camera systems is it doesn't matter where you are. You could be swinging in a little box that just about accommodates your golf swing, and it's going to be just as accurate as it is outdoors. This is, when I say a dot, this is what I'm talking about. It's a tiny little sticker right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to pop this on the middle of the club face at the top on Phil's club. Now what this does, it's reflective to the infrared camera. So it means the GC3 can see everything in a bit more detail. Right. So as you're delivering the club, it can then tell what the club path is. And then with a GC Quad, if I just pop off camera, I'll show you this one. So with its older brother that gives even more data, you need to have 4 dots on, like that. And that then means it can see the face angle in a little bit more detail. So this is mainly aimed at club data. So the GC3 is ideal for a sort of upper level golfer, I would say, or a passionate golfer that wants to look at their data in a lot of detail. But then the Quad is aimed more at coaches, fitters, pros, elite amateurs. So this is going to give you enough data that you can start making real changes to your golf swing. So if you want to go ahead and hit some shots, we're going to get club and ball data with that dot on. Great drive. Yeah, that'll do. That's a good one to look at the data for. Should we walk you through some of the data from the shot you just hit? Yeah, please. Let's have a look at that. So with the GC3, you get a similar amount of data to the SkyTrak Plus, but it's just a little bit more club focused, in my opinion. So you've got all your ball data here, which is pretty consistent across all launch monitors. You're going to get launch angle, ball speed, all sorts of things like that, total spin. And then you see that spin axis number. Again, so that's obviously, again, we were talking about the rotation of the golf ball as opposed to sort of coming directly back. Perfect. So 3.1 left. We know that's been shot all day, just a slight draw. And then you get your club data. Now, this is very much aimed at what you're doing to deliver the club to the ball. And obviously, club speed, 102. It's very fast, but it's also, it's not quite as fast as normal for you.
Yep.
That again will be to do with being inside.
Yep.
And it's been consistent across the day. Efficiency, so that's smash factor.
Yeah.
So 1.4 is pretty good. Like that's come out the middle of the club. The only people you're going to be seeing hitting above that are like long drivers and the top players in the world.
top tour players.
Like you're talking Rory McIlroy or Carl Berkshire.
Yeah.
Like, angle of attack 4.2. So that's basically the angle at which you deliver the golf club. Now it's the first time that number's come up on one of these launch monitors.
Right.
So 4.2 up.
Yeah.
Good. So that's
so
up
that means
on the
the club head is actually rising as it's hitting the ball.
So you're hitting up on it, up on the driver, which is great because you're adding loft to the shot effectively.
And you were explaining earlier on that a lot of the club golfers that come in, they find that number tends to be around 0 because they're hitting it at the bottom of the swing. Yeah. One of the videos we've done.
And they're kind of trying to hit like an iron almost as well. I've seen that number as down as -3 with one guy before. Wow. And just, I'm no coach by any means, but just working on him and just sort of explaining what that number is. Yeah. He started to hit the driver a lot further. And that's one of the ways you can use these launch monitors in your, obviously as you guys have developed this swing, you've got coaches working for you. They can start to explain that this is something you want to work with in your swing.
Funny enough, I can just stop a second here. Brian, when he first saw a launch monitor, and we were actually looking at some of this information here, and Brian was very much kind of against getting too technical and all of that, but he loved the fact that people could see a number and actually change their golf swing and change the number without actually necessarily needing to know how to change the swing or what they had to do. Yeah. They could just change the number and actually feel how they did that. So it's that instant feedback between the number you see on the screen and what it feels like in your golf swing.
And then last one in the club data is your club path. It's obviously how you're delivering the club to the ball. So 2.6 out to in. Yeah. And as we've seen earlier on, you tend to hit a draw. You tend to hit probably just from the inside. This is very much to do with hitting towards the screen. And it's just from getting used to hitting
a little bit.
Yeah. And it's what we've seen all day. Yeah. And then obviously your flight data, that's what happens to the ball after you hit it. So you've got carry distances, total distances, and peak height, very much within where we want it to be. Yeah. So with your speed, 120, pretty much bang on. Yeah. You were explaining earlier on as well, you changed your driver, didn't you?
Yeah, I changed my driver about 3 years ago, having been to the Open and watched the tour players playing and watched the ball flight, which was a lot higher than I was hitting the ball. And when I went for a club fitting, there were two numbers in particular that the club fitter pointed out to me. One was the backspin, which you can see here, I'm 2,500 RPM. I'm quite happy with that. Yeah. But I was spinning the ball about 3,000 RPM. And my peak height wasn't even 100. I was actually below 100 feet with this too much spin on the ball.
Like a low
so it was a low spinny ball. Yeah. And it's very different with this new driver. But one of the things that's actually happened is those numbers have improved, but so has my consistency. I can hit this driver actually longer than my old driver, but more consistently.
Yeah, and it's one thing to note as well, peak height. A lot of people get the term penetrating and low confused. Yeah. So people think that hitting a low launching shot and a low peak height is a penetrating ball flight. It's not, is it? What a penetrating ball flight is an optimal ball flight. Yeah. It is getting just as far out there as it is high, and it's launching out at the optimal rate. Yeah. And so that's something, again, you can work on with a coach. You can look at that, but you can also work on it yourself. Yeah. Once you've got the idea of the swing, you can start to adjust that. You could, if you wanted to up that, you hit up on the ball more. Yeah, yeah. Or you hit a fade.
So you've got a couple of options really. If you saw those numbers and they weren't optimal, you've either got to perhaps change the way you're swinging and see if you can change the numbers, or maybe even go and have a fitting with a new driver and get a club that will do that for you, so that you don't have to change your swing.
I at one point was spinning a 7-iron at 9,000 revs, and that was a day that I tried. I've been doing some lessons and stuff, and the coach just went, "Okay, you're swinging good now. Now you need to go get proper golf clubs. Let's go change that shaft." So these numbers are pretty good. Let's get you hit some shots, because I want you to try and hit a few weird shot shapes. Yeah. Because one of the places that GC3 is outstanding is how accurate it is with its shot shaping. Okay. So I'm going to pop a dot on your, should we go 6-iron again?
6-iron, yeah.
Be consistent.
If you want a bit of spin,
we can do that. We're going to go 6-iron. We're going to get you to hit some shot shapes, and that will then show off how good this is with its spin axis numbers. Okay, so one of the things that having like a mega accurate spin axis number does is lets the launch monitor work out what shot shape you're hitting. Now, GC3 and Foresight in general have always been massive fans of the way they do spin axis. They are very proud of how accurate it is. And to be fair to them, it's really, really accurate. So I've hit a lot of shots outdoors, so I can attest this is going to show you what it thinks you're going to be doing, and it's very accurate. So if you could try and hit,
and
for
just
me,
stop you there, just so the viewers know, what's your handicap, Alex?
It's just below scratch, yeah, but +1.
+1.
Yeah, but it's, I
So
mean,
he knows what he's talking
I've
about.
also done it with pros who are better than me.
Yeah.
And so you've got a like we've got actually a pro here, sales manager Hayden, who if you call up, you'll probably speak to him. He played on the Euro Pros, won on the Euro Pro.
Right.
We got Freddie Valenti, who played on the Euro Pro, won on the Euro Pro. Like these top players who work here. So I'm very much not an expert on the golf side of things. I know the tech; they're the golf experts.
Okay.
But the so if you want to go ahead and try and hit like a hook pull, like a hook draw or whatever, lots of spin, lots of shape.
Lots of spin.
Okay.
Lots of shape.
Let me get out of the way for you.
I'm going to try and
walk me through how you do this as well. I'm always interested to see how people change their shot shape.
Hook this round some trees. Real spinny one, yeah?
Yeah. That is hooking. And you can see how lifelike that shot shape is as well.
Yeah.
You can see it's sort of like a real gradual but aggressive hook like you hit there.
Yeah.
And now just go ahead and try and do the opposite way. There you go. What's quite nice for me as well is Phil has quite quickly worked out how to use the GC3 because it is very easy. It's got a screen that shows you where the ball is on the floor and tells you when it's ready to go. So it's nice to see that he's kind of intuitively worked that out, which is good. Good for me. Whoa. That's a pretty good slice there.
Not quite enough cut.
Not quite enough, but you can see the shape. You can see the shape, can't you?
Yeah, I always struggle with that one.
That spin axis number is basically letting the GC3 work out really, really nice and accurately what shape the ball would follow. So you can see there, spin axis at the bottom right, he's at 18.7 degrees right of center. So he's basically spinning this off center, moving that ball to the right. And so this is where it basically shows the GC3 is super accurate with what shot shapes it's showing you. The next thing to show you with Foresight is their courses. So this is something they've improved upon massively recently. So they've brought out FSX Play, and sort of last year now actually, and it's a massive step up in their course simulation. It looks fantastic. And so we're going to play a hole here. And one of the things to note is with SkyTrak, I had to turn off the SkyTrak system, load up a simulator software, pair it up. There's a lot of steps. You saw yourself, I was able to just navigate to this in a second. Like bam, 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 I'm on a course. Right. And that integrated software it keeps you immersed, keeps you playing the game. Yeah. So we've got, I think about 406 yard hole, dog leg left. So I need you to be hitting a 240-ish sort of, I think you've got a hybrid, haven't you?
Yeah, hybrid, yeah.
And
just 2-iron basically.
Pat one out there into the center of the fairway, and then you're going to have a 150-ish shot left in.
Okay.
Perfect. Shot a little bit fadey, but I think that's going to be fine.
Should be all right.
Did you catch that a touch heavy?
Toey.
Toey. So we're going to be left with a bit longer in, so you have to scramble. So you've got 231 to the flag. I think with that club you can probably still get to it.
Yeah, probably get there. Yeah.
So I've aimed you slightly off right.
Yeah.
This is okay. This is part of learning to play simulator software as well. So this hole you can sort of see is all feeding down to the left.
Yeah.
So aiming off a little bit right. This should land and feed left.
Okay.
So you're going to be carrying this probably 220-ish, I imagine, would be good. Nice shot. There's an arrow. I should feed all the way down there. Gonna leave a little chip in. We got about that 80-yard number that we were talking about. No, 56. Okay, so Phil's got about 56 yards left in, and what you'll notice when he hits the green, you'll see a little grey circle around the flag. That's basically the gimme zone. So we spoke about earlier on the other software how pace putts are great, but short putts aren't great. Foresight agree, and they actually put in a gimme circle around the flag. So if it lands within there, he's going to be able to save that par. But if not, he's going to have a pace putt to try and get close. 56, down 2 feet.
56 yards.
Okay. That's nice. Oh, the spin. It killed you. So you're going to have a pace putt to hit. So you can see the gradient works the same way. It's quite sort of consistent across all simulators. You can see the lines moving right shows a little moving to the left shows a right to left putt. and it's going to go quite a lot uphill. It's got actually a foot of uphill at the end.
Yeah.
That's a tough putt. That's a really tough one.
And how long is it?
It is 31 feet
31
with
feet.
a foot of uphill at the end.
Okay.
Probably hit it probably 40 feet, I guess. A little bit off right as well for that break. Oh, great putt.
Not too bad.
So you can see, with pace putts, like we said earlier on, pace putts is really accurate.
Yeah.
Short putts, you probably struggle more with that 1 footer. But luckily, you're within that grey zone. You're going to get that gimme. Yeah. And you're on to actually, let's play another hole. Let's see you hit one more shot. Okay. You got 181 yard par 3 over a valley. So this is the Farms course on Foresight, but you can buy, they've got a library of 200 odd golf courses. So you can get things like Pebble, you can get things, you know, all sorts of places. 181. So yeah, 181 down 6 feet. Shot. That's a great golf shot. Kick forward. Oh yeah. There you go, on the green.
So Alex, we're now moving right up to the best that you've got.
Brand spanking new stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, we're on to Trackman IO. Now, obviously, there's Quad and Trackman 4 as well at the top end of this budget, but the IO is really interesting to us because it's indoor optimized. Right, so that's what IO stands for. It's a static monitor that goes on the ceiling there, and it's looking at you with both a radar and a camera, which means it bridges the gap between the two systems. So with camera, generally you're getting really accurate spin numbers, but you're struggling to measure club data maybe because it's not, you can't see that far. With a radar, you're doing really good on the club data, but struggling with the ball data sometimes. This takes both, whacks it onto the same unit, and does some of the best measuring I've ever seen. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and hit a shot, we got 170 to this flag. It was pretty consistent 6-iron for you today. It's been carrying about 167. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and hit a shot, you can see the graphics already. They're another step up. Yeah, and
it's really, really realistic, doesn't it? Yeah, kind of feels like you're on a golf course now, doesn't it?
A little bit tuggy with the screen there.
Ooh, it's gonna be in the bunker. Yikes.
That's okay.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
So you can see all this data here. So you can see that that's the difference between a cracked ball and a normal ball. There's a 10-mile-an-hour club of ball speed difference there. But the other thing you can see, so this club delivery, obviously you can feel that you're pulling towards the screen a little bit. Yeah. You can see this coming in. So if we just touch the touch screen, you can see the club coming in slightly over the top there.
Yeah.
Ball launching left, drawing further left. That's what we've seen all day. Yeah. So currently you're only getting ball data, like I said. By the time sort of Christmas, end of the year comes around, you're going to have all your club data as well. Wow. But I'm a little bit at the fact that you've got a home version, which is going to be ball data only forever. This club delivery camera pretty much shows you what your club path is doing, isn't it? Yeah, so it's fantastic. It's a really good option to the people who want to sort of use the more budget-friendly option. They're all really expensive, but there is a more budget-friendly option at about £12,500. That's called the home version. And then if you want the complete version or the commercial version, so if you're running an indoor center, that comes up to the same price as the Trackman 4, which is 18 and a bit. Right. Yeah. So you've got loads of data there, and that's only really the start of all the data you can have. So if I tap here and tap extended screens, I can put 2 completely different metrics on there. I can put impact location and impact, for example, and you're going to see 2 completely different things that you can have in. So this is going to populate with more when the club data comes out. But also you've got impact location on every shot. So it's showing you hit that pretty much out the middle, but it was a bit high on the face.
High on the face, a little bit towards the toe. Yeah, I can feel that.
I mean, this is
and a bit shut.
Unparalleled levels of data. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. So you've got a really detailed look into your golf swing. And then the other thing to note is this practice range is completely different to anything else in the market. So say you didn't like that shot. Say you don't like the fact that there's nothing in front to punish that, the heavy shot. You can just press there and select the target, and you've suddenly got so many more things to look at. Yeah. You hit that, you've got a completely different shot to look at, pretty much the same distance. Yeah. And if you don't like the distance, you can take the ball and you can change the distance up and change around what you're doing. Like it's one of the most intuitive ways to practice on the market because it's just, you can build your own shot. It's not a driving range, it's a practice ground.
I love the fact that what I could feel happening with the golf club, and a lot of golfers do struggle with that. They're not too aware of what the club is actually doing but I could feel the things that I'm seeing on the screen here. So that's fine because it's good for me because I can actually see for real what I'm actually feeling. But for a lot of club golfers who would be using that, they can start to actually see what's going on,
happened, yeah.
and they can then start to relate that to a feel. And so you're kind of learning from the opposite way round, which is seeing what's actually happening and learning what the feel of that
feels
is.
like. Yeah.
So you can start to encourage yourself to swing better.
Yeah, it's a fantastic practice aid. And I mean, so this is only one option as well on how you're going to practice. So I'll change it up to a different mode. Let's see this.
Know it well.
So what we can do, have you got a favourite hole at Wentworth?
At Wentworth, I love 17.
17. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to pop us on 17 and make that into our driving range.
Okay.
So you can do all of your practice on a real golf hole.
Yeah.
With all your data, all your club, all like the club delivery camera and things like that, all working at the same time, but hitting shots at a real golf hole.
Yeah.
And it makes a huge difference to be able to actually have to hit a draw or have to hit a fade because there's something on the screen that means you have to. So we go through here. Go to 17, there's that dog leg left. Put one in those trees last time I played here. So you can see, do you want to hit the drive or do you want to hit the shot into the green? What do you want to hit?
I hit the drive.
You hit the drive,
yeah.
Okay. Great shot, nice draw up the right-hand side. So can I pick your brain a little bit, please?
Yeah, go on.
How would you think about hitting a draw like that? Because we're on a range here. You can re-hit this shot and you can demonstrate to me. So if you turn around, you can see you're back on the tee.
Yeah.
I'm afraid the fact that you hit a lovely draw up the right-hand side counts for nothing because it's a practice range. But I'd love to know sort of how you would think about hitting a draw with a driver because it's something I've always struggled with.
All right. Okay.
I can hit a draw with an iron, but with a driver, I start to struggle.
So, for me, really, for a kickoff, this particular hole, and I know it well, you don't want to hit it left.
No.
You don't mind hitting it a little bit right, but you don't want to hit it left. So if you're going to hit a draw, and it tends to favour the draw, it's quite an intimidating shot. So you really have got to be aiming up the right-hand side. There's no point trying to hit a draw if you're aiming straight.
Yep.
Because all you're going to do is hit it straight with a draw into the tree. So first of all, obviously align yourself correctly so that you're aiming up that right-hand side of the hole. And for me, then, secondly, it's about changing the rhythm very, very slightly in the swing. I don't, with the driver, I don't change my grip or ball position or anything like that. Everything stays the same. I'll just change my rhythm a little bit and just give a little bit more time in the downswing.
Lovely swing. Nice big looping draw. Up and into the... I wish I could hit that shot. It's always been one I've struggled with. I think I tend to snatch at the ball, at the sort of downswing a little bit. It would tend to be my miss.
Yeah.
And that sort of idea of waiting for the club head to catch up. Yeah. When you've carried that 10 yards past everything else you've hit today, it's gone out to 273.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely a way of getting a bit more distance.
A bit more distance if I need it, yeah. But the other thing, in order to create that weight, that slight delay, it's about being more relaxed. And so I will actually slightly soften my grip and I slightly relax my wrists so that I can give myself that time. Because the one thing you don't want in that shot is a bit of tightness. You get a bit tight on it, it's going to tend to go left going left. Yeah. It's just about being completely relaxed.
Yeah, I tried to hit a draw on this hole last time I played it and I got a bit tight. I hit one left going left into the trees. So
if it's any consolation,
yeah,
I stood on that tee watching Monty give a demonstration once. Yeah. And Monty always hit the ball left to right. And he stood on that tee and he said, I love this hole. He said, because I can aim straight at the trees down the left-hand side, hit a big fade down there. And this was just 2 days before the tournament.
Yeah.
Watched him on the last day in the tournament, pulled it straight out of bounds.
I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? We've all been there, yeah.
So even the best in the world, it can happen.
So the reason I wanted to show you this, obviously you know the hole very, very well. You can see how accurate the course recreation is. Yeah. But the reason it's important is, again, it gives you that real life, like it gives you a consequence. If I hit a left draw, it's going in those trees and it's going to show me it going in the trees. Yeah. And then, but the beauty of it is I'm going to be able to see why it went there because I've got all my data. I've still got all the club delivery camera, the impact location, all those kind of things. So I tend to, my miss on the driver especially is like a low heel shot.
Oh, right.
So I could see if I'm hitting lower heel, I can see exactly why that's happening. Okay. And it just unlocks a level of practice that you don't really get with anything else, in my opinion. And you can do this on any of the courses. So there's over 260 golf courses on Trackman. You can do on any single one of them with any shot. So we could pop you up right next to the green with a 10-yard chip, and you could do just that 10-yard chip over and over again. And it's just, I mean, it's just an unbelievable way to practice, isn't it?
Yeah, tremendous. Yeah, yeah. But I don't know about you, but I find often going to the driving range is very disappointing.
Yeah,
because there's so much kind of noise and disturbance, and you know, it ends up not being a proper practice session. Whereas you could do this in quiet at home. Yeah, in your own facility,
in your simulator, and it's
proper.
The thing with it as well that I love is how realistic the ball flight looks. It's one of the developments they brought in, and just the way you saw there, you hit it like you hit a big sort of loopy draw there, and it looked like a loopy draw.
Yeah,
it was.
And I know that hole so well that even watching the ball land and do exactly what it did as it landed,
feeds down to the right.
That's exactly what would happen in that hole.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? Yeah. So that's couple of practice ways. I'm not going to show you every single way you can practice on Trackman because we'll be here all day. But I'm going to show you some of the courses now, okay? So another little bit that Trackman has up its sleeve is what they call virtual golf. So this system, all of this is called TPS9, and it's a very, very easy system to use. It's very nice for people to use. But you can go in, you can select holes, like the Photon Links in Norway. But one of the best things I think is great to show people, if I just press the sunset mode, the Photon Link suddenly has the Northern Lights above it, which is just beautiful. So let's pop you in here.
That's rather inspiring.
Someone's playing. Someone called Nathan's playing. But we're going to pop him in. So starting up, it'll load up the same as every other golf course. But the reality of the TPS9 virtual golf is it's just so accurate. Like the way the rough affects the ball, the way it acts when it lands, the way the wind works. It's just beautiful. And the visuals of it, the graphics are
really
astonishing.
They take you there, don't they?
I mean, when this loads up, it obviously takes a little while to load up. It's a big, big program. But as soon as it loads, you're going to see, I mean, it's just stunning. I'll skip through this. So you're playing under the Northern Lights with a fantastic golf course to play under. So you've got 186 to the fairway playing downhill. So it's probably your 6-iron. Nice little draw with your 6-iron. Sort of lengthen that out and run up the fairway to try and hit the shot.
Yeah.
The thing with the IO as well, which is quite nice, the hitting zone is massive. So it's about, we tested it on our one. It depends how high your IO is in the room. Ours is between 3 feet and 4 feet long and about 2 feet wide. So it's a massive section that you can hit from. You just pop it down and hit it. Anyway. And it's a lovely, it's nice, especially people who aren't used to simulator golf, because you'll tend to get people wandering around this mat a little bit. Nice swing. Nice little draw down into that target zone. I think you've done pretty much what you said you were going to do there.
That feels good.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? And then, so we've got 94 in. We'll play a hole just like we did on Foresight. So you've got 94 yards in. And again, we've got a gimme zone up there. It's a bit of a generous gimme zone on this one because we often get clients coming in and wanting to try. We want to get them through some holes. So it's an 8-foot gimme zone. So you've got 8 feet to aim at to try and get the birdie here.
All right.
Is that in the middle of the club there? Lovely.
How far again is it? 94, okay.
Nice swing.
Oh, just outside.
You got a putt. You got a putt. So you got an easy 2-putt for your par, and you've got a putt of the birdie here. So works the same way as with Foresight. If we turn the grid on here, so you've got the same kind of idea of being able to see the gradient on the green. With that, so you've got your putt here. So if you want to hit your putt slightly left to right, 15 feet, uphill 6 inches. So anything within 8 feet is going to be a gimme on our Trackman. That's a good putt. Oh, just a touch short. Very, very nice putt. And an easy par as well. Yeah, so you can see the courses. You can play a full 18 in under an hour as a 2-ball there. And it's just, it's just so pretty, isn't it? It's so nice.
Alex, that's been so interesting going through the range of those products because, again, as somebody who not familiar with these things, I enjoyed the very first one. It gave me a lot of feedback, really interesting. But each step along the way, I mean,
just gets it's a bit more and more,
This is so realistic. I mean, I really, honestly kind of felt like I was on a golf course. And one of my complaints with these simulators in the past has been it doesn't feel anything like being on a golf course. And so I've never really enjoyed using them before. I would go and play a game of golf.
It's a big step up, isn't it?
It is a big step up.
And the thing with this as well is, obviously, we can't be showing everything that Trackman can do because we'll be here forever.
Yeah.
But you've got online leagues, you've got competitions, you've got the same kind of like online long drive competitions, things like that. You can run events on it. You can do all sorts of stuff. It's got an AI coach as well. You'd hate it because say you hit a bunch of shots on the shot analysis center, and it identifies that you're hitting okay, you're swinging okay, but you're leaving the face open. It identifies that as your issue and tells you you're leaving your face open, and then gives you a drill to fix it. So and it starts to do what's called focus practice. So it takes away all the peripherals and just gives you to work on that one bit of data.
That's right.
So it's unbelievable. But the thing that is noteworthy is we started at something that cost 650 quid that could do what this does. But then you get to the one that costs 12 to 18,000 pounds, you can see why it does it a lot better. So we use a car analogy here a lot. So we say that an MLM, or like one of these bit like a Golf, you've then got kind of like a BMW where you're at like sort of sort of like the SkyTrak Plus and the Mevo Plus. Get to an Aston Martin with the GC3, and then you're at a Rolls Royce with the Trackman and GC Quad. So there's gradients, but they're all fantastic.
Thank you, Alex. That's really been fun. Thanks ever so much. Cheers.
No problem at all. No problem at all.
So I hope you've enjoyed that video, and I'd like to thank the guys from Golfswing Systems today for showing us all the different types of launch monitors that there are, and the range of prices right the way through from £600 to £20,000 and what you get for that. If you want to know more about it, you can go down into the details below and you'll see a link to Golfswing Systems. And if you want to buy anything, put in the code Easiest Swing, and for nearly everything they sell, that'll give you a 5% discount. And if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And remember, subscribing is free, doesn't cost you anything. And please tell your friends about this as well. So thanks for watching, and see you again soon.
Right, guys, thank you for watching, and thank you to the guys from Easiest Swing for coming down. It's been a pleasure showing you all of these launch monitors. And yeah, as they said, they can all help your game. They're going to show you some data that will help make real-time improvements to your swing using the Easiest Swing technique and technology. So yeah, if you want to give everything a look at Golfswing Systems, head to our website or our socials. We're all at golfswingsystems.co.uk, and you can use the code Easiest Swing for a discount on almost everything on the website. The only things are kind of the Trackmans where we'll be giving you £1,000. Sorry, we're not that generous. So yeah, anything else, have a look and see if you can use the Easiest Swing code. See you soon.